Screen share now. Share. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks and busy, busy, busy. We are in day three of a 180-day sprint. Not going to unpack that because might do a snippet video, but anyway. We've got our pre-launch team here, and I've got on the screen share our Google Docs. You should be able to find that if you go to our AIagentsbox.org. It'll redirect to our link tree. And I did slightly update this with a new update. Our blog and newsletter is live, and I want to publicly thank Ernest of Gaia. And if you throw in your link here for your YouTube, I'll absolutely amplify that because that's one of the things. Looking forward to doing some collaboration, Ernest, on live streaming. We're really wanting AIagents.box to be we want it to be the on-chain community for AI. And AI has been a buzz for several years now, but it's something that I haven't really unpacked. And that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to unpacking through our collaborative. Because, man, this shit's moving so freaking fast, and the opportunity to collaborate and unpack it together and figure out. But because the big thing with AI agents is there's some people that are calling it results as a service. But anyway, here's the blog and newsletter. I think I opened up this. Yeah, so subscribe here. Thank you, Ernest, for being our very first subscriber. We don't have any content here, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about on our office hours here today. One of the goals with this 180-day sprint is to do a new blog post every day with a new NFT and use that largely with generated AI content, AI tooling. And that's one of the things that we're going to really refine from a process and execution standpoint, not only with AI tooling, but more importantly, teach our AI agents how to do this for us so that anyway, so excited about that. Um, I'm gonna just pause here real quick and let anybody else, if they want to open up their mic to say what they're excited about with what we're building here with AI agents. Box. If I don't see a mic open up, we'll keep on going. All right, no mic opening up, and I'm gonna kind of monitor. And this is one of the things looking forward to getting a live stream producer that can assist with some of this stuff. And feel free to give us some social media love, smash the like button, and all of that. So, anyway, always going to talk about our FELG culture. This is one of the things that we're embracing: fun, earning, learning, and giving. And just going to keep on scrolling here. So this is an office hours, really wanting this to be more collaborative in nature and stuff like that. So one of the things that I want to talk about here today, we used Luma, and I'm going to go over here. This is one of the things, events calendar. Let's open this up. So I've personally committed right now. We are on our third office hours, going to commit to doing a weekly office hours or a daily office hours. But the question here that I'm going to put out to everybody that's with us right now is the upcoming office hours times for the remaining week. So this time slot tomorrow and Friday isn't going to work for me. So I'm going to create an office hours for those. And probably just to make it easier, I'll probably just get those banged out. But and one of the things that bubbled up yesterday that we'll take a look at here when we review the AI email summary was we had some thoughts about what things make a great community and consistency. And this is one of the things I love about this 180-day sprint is that we have an incentive over here. Jesse Pollock, one of the executives with Coinbase, put forward a I think there's big opportunity for on-chain builder plus streamer archetype to emerge this year. Ship cool things 10 times faster with AI. That's what we want to do. Plus on-chain, do it live on stream, show the world what's possible, go viral. So here's what this is the precipice for our 180-day challenge. But anyway, um, getting back over here. So I'm gonna make a little note. I'm gonna just do this as a comment for an action item myself. Yonks will create the four. Let us meet for remaining days this week. So comments, and just to echo here, been saying this, document tabs is a fairly new thing. Really loving document tabs because you talk about doing 180 days of content. We're going to be creating a lot of content just through this format right here. So we've got a progress. This is where we're really going to be breaking down the progress. One of the things too, and I don't even know if let me grab the I'm not even going to go there. That's irrelevant. So updates, HATS protocol. We already talked about the custom domain, but everybody on the call is in the pre-launch team here. And let me bring open the HATS protocol. So if you go to HATS protocol, just to provide a quick summary, and I did do a very brief live stream, is about 10 minutes long. If you really want to see how easy it was for me, because like one of the things, not a dev, don't identify as a dev, don't want to self-identify as a dev. I do understand technology, but I was able to do this implementing HATS protocol for our organization, AIagents.box, using no code. And you can unpack that. Here's where HATS wears that I am. So this is something that I have said, we'll continue to say. What we're doing with AIagents.box is going to look and feel very similar to Invest Local. And just consider that sister ecosystem brand, because we will likely Invest Local. We've already been having several pre-launch conversations, but let's actually open up the hat. So everybody on here that's on here today already has, and I did an airdrop during that live stream for 8 wearers of people that have participated in this. And the utility that we're planning on adding that doesn't exist is for Charmverse. And that's something, if you all want, we can actually spin up here right now during the office hours, or if we don't want to do that, I can do that during a breakout live stream similarly to setting up the HATS protocol. But what's everybody's thoughts? Should we set up Charmverse now using our NFT from HATS protocol, or move on down the talking points?
I'd say finish up some talking points and then we do the charm verse the last half or anything else that we have to do the last half.
I think that's wise. I will absolutely agree with that. So HATS protocol, love hats. We'll talk more about that as we continue to evolve our organization. And just to circle back on the like some of the things that we were talking about during the office hours yesterday, like here, position this as a funding team. We'll have more conversations through the course of our 180-day live stream challenge as far as what that looks like. Not going to unpack that at all right now for sure. So already talked about our custom domain for we're using paragraph.xyz. Don't know if I mentioned that. Additional tabs within Google Docs. So one of the things that we did discuss yesterday was like the idea of creating a manifesto. And one of the other things that we will need to do is to create a governing principles and established practices. Right now, the preliminary thoughts, and this is something that we will roll through a governance process as we work on getting a lot of the governance foundations using some of this tooling. Like one of the initial, besides Charmverse, another use case is with Snapshot, and that's another opportunity, time permitting, that we can do, or we can bump that to a tools working group or something like that. Um, but yeah, going back to today. Oh, and the manifesto, I don't even have anything on here. This is just kind of a placeholder where we can work because the kind of the thoughts around a manifesto is to create a user journey where somebody's like, hey, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And then once somebody's done some attestation to a manifesto, then have a governing principles. And the best way to think of this is kind of like a bylaws or an LLC operating agreement or maybe a constitution. One of the reasons that I like calling it a governing principles and established practices is this part right here, established practices. One of the things that I will talk about ad nauseum, because I think it's so important, is best practices. And let me see where that is. I don't even know if I have it in this Google Doc, but in find, implement, refine from a best practices ethos. So other tabs, some of the very piece, I renamed this to content from content ideas, which is what it was on yesterday's office hours, to just content. And we can organize this, but kind of categorizing it based upon different content niches. Daily blog posts. This is going to be already talked about. Doing a daily blog post as a summary using AI. And then the other thought too, besides the daily blog post, is also doing like a weekly summary as well. And let me unpack here because Ernest, I think that this was your yes, it was. Thank you for contributing. Love the contributions. And one thing too, while I'm giving some kudos, I'm gonna thank TrueCat for the images that created here. And we'll come back to this because we do need to get our day 2 and day 3 image, and we can talk about whether we want to decide on that or make that an agenda talking point for the art AI generator for the working group coming up in approximately 4 or 5 hours. So let's see here. Oh, the other thing too, AI agent demo days. There's an immense amount of content here. The and I can't remember if I posted this, but the next one is coming up here in a couple days. The YouTube, and I'm going to throw a link in this. This is one that I would definitely encourage you. I think Nader, and he's at Daybit3 on X. Yeah, at Daybit3. And I'm gonna just open up this stats post here real quick so that we can unpack this because there's probably some good alpha in this stats post as well. And this is a post that Nader just did here several days ago, 2.5 days ago, where he's talking about episode 3, 4, and 5 in the works, and then he provided a screenshot. What is this, like 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 28, almost 30 people that he included in the screenshot here. So that's another opportunity for unpacking. But the other one was this, and this is I'm going to throw this in the live stream chat, giving some social media love to Nader and all the work that he's doing to organize these AI agent demo days, AI agent demo days. And I believe Nader is a core dev at EigenLayer. So besides AI16Z, it would probably be really good for us to unpack what EigenLayer is doing related to AI agents and agentic AI frameworks.
Who's doing who's Nader Dabbit?
DevRel DX at EigenLayer, 150,000 followers. Not a dev, so like that's
Oh yeah.
I've been following. I don't know how long that I've been following, but the he's like I said around AI agents, and it's I can't remember. but yeah, there's so much good information
All
here
right.
because he does, yeah, like just scrolling through this Twitter thread.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff on his YouTube.
Yeah.
So I also dropped the AI 16Z Eliza AI Discord every Tuesday and Friday. They have um, events where folks that sign up can get 2 or 3 minutes to just explain what they've been doing that week or to actually demo something that they built. So I dropped those links in Discord or in the chat here.
Nice. And one of the things too is I have persistence on the Zoom chat. This is the same recurring meeting that using right now for season 0 of uh, AI agents dot box. But thanks for that, and thanks for all the stuff that you've been sharing on the Telegram for 3Win Social at Win Social as well. So and this is one of the things too, just thinking out loud here. The plan is to set up some community presence on Common Ground, not only for AI Agents box, but also for Invest Local. Because what will likely happen is the Telegram group as it exists today will probably more move to more of an announcements sort of dynamic and really whether it's here at Common Ground or whether it's through our own forthcoming mobile slash website. Only time will tell what that looks like as far as from an adoption and traction standpoint, and it may kind of fork depending on what the communities are, but not going to unpack that. But that's something that planning on doing is to create a community here on Common Ground out of all the community platforms that I've been looking at over the last 3 or 4 years as a Web3 community builder, this is the only one that I've said, hey, this is one that I absolutely am the most excited about for how that they have implemented it. And not only that, but Florian, the co-founder of there, is a kindred spirit of mine as far as our love, as I know you are, Ernest, towards cooperatives. So that's one of the things that I really love how that they're launching their platform there as well. So okay, so yeah, unpack so much solid stuff in the demo days. So coming up here, episode 3 is on in a couple days on January 10th. There's been 2 previous ones, and this is a format that will likely continue because he's a core dev at Eigenlayer, and Eigenlayer is wanting to be a foundational component in the proliferation of on-chain AI agent infrastructure. But yeah, so let's see. Talked about all this, checking off some updates. So here, and I'm going to actually update this with a timestamp here. So this is just making a queue. Um, changed from 15 minutes to 35 minutes. And this is a real world use case of us using AI. We use Fathom.video, Fathom AI Note Taker, have been using that. I don't know for a decent amount, a good half of 2024. Full disclosure, Yonk's team, my wife and I are seed A investors of Fathom Video, but it provides an absolutely fabulous summary. Let me open up that email here real quick. And this is another thing that we will unpack as far as like one of the things building a community here. And let me actually add this to the conversation over here. Because the thing with what we did yesterday is wanting to put this. Oh, it's already on here communications. And talking about communications, like an email summary. Like that's one of the things that we need to be intentional about creating the communications that people most want to receive. There's a lot of people that are Web3 natives, on chain enthusiasts that really hate email, and it's not an effective means of communication. And there's an increasing amount of communications capabilities. Push.org, has anybody unpacked what they're doing over at Push Protocol?
No, but I'm a firm hater of email. Uh,
Yeah, so explore, the communication protocol of Web3. So, as you've got, if you don't go too deep down the that virtual academy for the or whatever it was that we were looking at there, um, they are also governed via a DAO, and they're doing some really cool things. And we may, with what we're doing here at AIagents.box, seek a grant opportunity. And that's one of the things thinking about our funding teams over here, like the opportunity to create a new hats tree for grant teams where we can, be more intentional. Because I was looking at a LinkedIn post, and let me actually find that because that's absolutely relevant to AI, what we're
there's a
talking about here. Go ahead,
there's an
Ernest.
AI that specifically helps with grant writing.
So that's one that we should absolutely potentially consider, because clean energy assets is one of the things in our ecosystem that we're going to work on. But this is a super fresh post. It's an annual thing that LinkedIn does. LinkedIn Jobs on the Rise 2025, the 25 fastest growing jobs in the US. Number one, artificial intelligence engineer. And one of the things, you think about like what we're talking about here, I would actually advocate that most of us, after depending on what level that we participate over this next 180-day sprint, I would say you can maybe have like a PhD in artificial intelligence engineering, because we're going to be deploying and exploring and playing around with the bleeding edge using on-chain AI agent frameworks. Number two, artificial intelligence consultant. So here we are, number one, number two jobs, according to LinkedIn, which has, I think, over 1 billion registered users. So if you're talking about someplace that has data and analytics to back up that, it's absolutely that. But the other thing that made me think of bringing this up here, we're wanting to get great at coordinating events. Not going to unpack that, but that's one of the things that we, through our on-chain ambassadors, are really going to embrace hybrid events to make these events more accessible. Because you think about, like, some people might be a little socially reserved for whatever reasons to go to an IRL event, but being able to unpack that content via a hybrid format is appealing. And it takes a little bit more from an execution standpoint to host successful hybrid events, but that's one of the things that we're going to get. So, number 12, artificial intelligence uh, researcher, treasury manager. You talk about like AI agents that are basically managing funds. And this is a little different lens here, and I can appreciate that. But a lot of these legacy assets, especially real estate assets, are going to be moving on chain. Grants consultant, that's the one that I was talking about. And there's going to be, one of the things I like to say is that there's going to be two types of people: those that use AI and those that get displaced by AI. But that's just my thoughts. Anyway, I'm going to throw this, since I was talking about this LinkedIn article, I'm going to throw that in the live stream.
Yeah, well, hopefully it replaces the intermediaries up top, and it's and not the um not a simple folk.
Well, and that's one of the things, like through certifications and like uh, the core dev that wrote swarms, which number go up, number go down. And this isn't a plug for swarms or any of the things that we're discussing. I was looking at his LinkedIn profile. He's like 22 or 23, and Swarms, I think, has a market cap of like 400 to 600 million, and he's the CEO of Swarms.
Yeah, I listened to an interview of the creator of Eliza, and they're young. And they've like it's like they're completely fed up with bureaucracy bullshit, right? And they're like, we can just write an AI agent or AI workflow or automate, things that we need, and do it in an open source way, and we don't need to be gatekept by, you know, gatekeepers and um, middlemen fundamentally.
I agree 100%, and that's one of the things that with how that we're architecting our ecosystem here, choose your own adventure, our FELG culture, but we're absolutely creating economic incentives. And one of the things that I'm a huge fan and believer of is you really get financial freedom through two ways. One way is by having a big pile of money. The second way is by having multiple and diverse income streams. And I actually think that it's most important for people that might be tired of their grind, their day-to-day job, their 9 to 5, or their 2 to 10, or their 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., or whatever shift that they work. And I personally did a lot of overnight shifts, years of overnight shifts as a network operations engineer. And it was a good grind. Made a lot of money doing IT, but I love the autonomy that I get in a framework and having the economic incentives where you can do the right thing, promote things that you are passionate about. And that's one of the things that we're really going to foster through our on-chain ambassadors program. But this is probably the most important thing here to keep on going through. Work on a template for daily blog posts because here it is, day number 3. We got the custom domain in place. But let's before we talk about the template, let's talk about the images over here. I absolutely love both of these images. The only thing that I think that we could potentially do is slap on some AI agents to make it like, maybe the little robot emoji. If I had to choose between one or two of these, I would probably choose this one right here. I think it would be a little cleaner to put like a little thing and maybe in each of these top corners up here to denote like AI agents.box and maybe day 2 or something like that. Um, but what is everybody else's thoughts? Thank you again, TrueCat, for putting that together.
No worries. I like the first one too, probably out of the two.
So let me work on throwing some slap on stuff, and if somebody else wants to too, again, feel free because my bag is not graphic design. And just to put out another consideration, you think about a circular POAP. A circular POAP can and should look probably pretty differently. Go ahead, Ernest.
Oh, you can complete your thought real quick.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like the opportunity to have because like you think about what we're gonna do with the NFT, we're gonna make that available for anybody that wants to pay about $1. And I'm not sure exactly what that's gonna look like, whether it can be $1 USDC or whether it's the converted amount of ETH as the main native token on base. But the POAP are like right now we have there's 4 of us on here. So like the 4 of us is who that would get the POAP, not anybody else. Whereas anybody that wants to support our efforts through our blog post that says, "Hey, I love what you guys are doing. I want to collect this NFT." Is the value proposition. And one of the things I'm excited about doing using Paragraph, this blogging methodology, is also using splits.org to create economic incentives for those of us that are participating and then those of us that are also in the content refinement process. And again, like that's where really wanting this to be templated, copy and paste. Like I've been doing copy and paste before most people spend any time behind a keyboard, but that's another conversation for another day. So I guess the I'll So I'll throw on some hacks if anybody else wants to do that, to do a day two for AI agents.box. And then let's decide here on our upcoming working group tonight. But yeah, going over here to the template, I'm going to just throw in some ideas here, like, and I'm going to put executive summary. I don't want it to be called that. I'm going to just call it summary because I don't like, yeah, summary. Um, Copy, paste from Fathom video. Uh, this, let me make these headers. X posts. And let me just show what I'm talking about here. If for those of you that haven't seen it on X at Yonks, I currently have a pinned on my pinned, and I'm very confident that this will stay my pinned tweet for the next 180 days until we're done with this 180-day sprint. Will functionally put us at like July-ish. But what I'm doing is I'm doing several summary posts throughout the day. So just like copy and paste and embed those. And I'm actually running a spreadsheet to just summarize that. Um, but this is, I think, the main three things. What else? What else, as far as a top level section outline standpoint, would should we have? Um, Coming events.
What do you
And
mean?
this is, go ahead, Ernest.
No, I was just wanting a little bit more clarification on your question.
So this is a template. You think about like creating
Oh,
a
okay.
top level outline that we can just like copy and paste and then take AI content into these, like H1 header on a piece of written content. These are the H1 headers that creating um for content, or for markdown junkies, like, the one hashtag, um and like two hashtags is H2, H2 level header. And then like you throw in a formats, contents, and this would be transcript. And I haven't done any written content in Paragraph. This will really be my foray into using it. And just to provide the main reason why wanting to use Paragraph is that it's Web3 native, first of all. And then the second main criteria was our custom domain at blog.aiagents.box.
Yeah, I
Well,
like Paragraph.
yeah. And speaking of which, this is another tab that I created on curation. I don't know if I put anything in here. Started to. So this is a advanced search, and this is some useful information. I prefer Paragraph over Mirror. Mirror still has more traction as far as people actively creating on that. And let me show you what I mean by that here real quick, since I'm talking about it. So this is an advanced Google search where you use the syntax site with the colon in that particular site and AI agents. And looking here, Google has indexed, as of today, 3,140 results. And just changing out mirror.xyz for paragraph.xyz. And looking at that same number, 374 results. And Paragraph is definitely the newer kid on the block. And I don't know if there's still some different mechanics that exist around Mirror compared to Paragraph.xyz, but that's something that we can just kind of shelve from a thought standpoint right now. All right. Well, talked. I'm gonna assume that this is a good enough starting point, and I see, whoa, just a whole bunch of stuff coming in here from Ernest, so we can work on cleaning that up. But the going back over here to brainstorm, create some let us meets for next tools working groups of interest. Closing thoughts. So we've only got less than 10 minutes here. I'm really looking forward to the tools working group tonight. As I said, one of the tools that we will likely unpack and open up our wallet is Venice, and Venice.ai has an image generation capability. So that's definitely one of the tools that we want to explore. And here we will likely use the image. And was this done using, is it called Fireflies, or what's the actual, because you mentioned here TrueCat Photoshop AI. Does Photoshop have a thing that they're calling their AI thing?
It's just within the Photoshop application. It has an AI generative function that you can just ask the interface to fill a certain area of the image.
And is this something that you have been using Photoshop, Adobe's suite of tools for a while, or is this something that you were unpacking just for their AI capabilities?
I've been using Photoshop for a long time, but yeah, I've just started to explore what the AI can do. I usually, you know, am old school and try and draw and create images myself, but it's sometimes very tempting to let the AI do the work.
Yeah, no, well, without a question. And one of the things, and this goes back into best practices, find, implement, and refine. All indications is that best practice is to give the attribution to whatever AI tool that you use and say, hey, this image was generated, blah, blah, blah. And then and appreciate you doing that here. So and I copied because we had a summary over here. So I'm going to transpose those into here because one of the things that I'm going to, let's see, did I have this as uh, I'm just going to put it on here because this is the actual tab for the working group tonight. And I'm going to just put tools to explore and copy and paste here. And so I don't know if you want to like put together or if you want to do, are you going to be TrueCat on this upcoming AI generator working group?
Do you mean the session later today?
Yes.
I don't really have the details, so I'm not sure.
Okay, well, this is a good opportunity for me to promote this event, not only to you, but over here to anybody that may be watching the live stream or the replay is on our link tree, the events calendar, which goes to Luma. And if you're not subscribed to our Luma calendar, would definitely recommend that because this is one of the things going to be adding some workflow in tandem to our published blog posts surrounding each one of these events. But not going to unpack that, but it's here, the AI agents box. It got this all finalized. It wasn't finalized until literally earlier today, and we're going to be hosting that at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and whatever that converts to down under Sydney time. I just threw the link into the AI agents very first tools working group. And this
Yeah,
is
it's in like
something
three.
too. What's that, Ernest?
I think it's like 3 for her, 8 p.m. for me.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for doing the time zone conversion. on that, and that should happen automatically in the Luma here. I think Luma does a great job getting the events converted to people's times, and that's probably a good segue here because this, like right now, this is an office hours format. One of the things that I would like us to do is be more intentional to get these events so that we can put them on our calendar so that people can, subscribe to them, get excited about them, invite other people to them. And that's one of the things that I want us to be thoughtful about unpacking as far as from a tools and discovery standpoint. Like, I would absolutely agree to you, Ernest, that with what I've unpacked already around Eliza, OS, wanting to lean heavily into using some of that because some of that is like a automation surrounding posting on X. And that would solve a lot of problems for me as if we trained ecosystem brands to have their own X agents so that they could have some more autonomy to unpack and create solid content for our ecosystem that we're building out. One of the other things that want to advocate for those of you that are going to be coming to ETH Denver, there's already 34 people that have RSVP'd to this Agents Day. It's again on the AEIagents.box. And then upcoming more quickly here is the IBM has a dev day. This is like a multiple hour window. I'm going to open this up here. IBM is, as probably most people know, more of an enterprise. With Watson X, I would say that their IBM is probably best positioned as far as enterprise grade with open AI. And this is a 7-8 hour event coming up right around the corner. I'm also going to add the demo day from Nader at Date It 3, the one that I was already promoting. That's the coming up here literally in a couple days. And any other opportunities that I think are worthwhile to the AI agents conversation. And one of the nice things about Luma is that I believe that this has some workflow where anybody should be able to add an event. So like Ernest, for example, when you're creating some content or something like that, I do think that it has some approval mechanism, but that's something that we can potentially unpack as maybe adding you as a admin on the calendar. I think with not having to pay for Luma, I think that I can have myself and one additional admin on the calendar, but just putting that out there. But
Happy to
looking
help
here at
with
the
that. Happy to help with
yeah,
that.
no,
Yeah.
thank you for that. We can take those conversations offline. But I'm going to stop talking here. Does anybody want to chime in some additional thoughts before we work on bringing this up? The I'm going to work on getting the agenda here. And anyway, the thoughts are, and it's if you could, TrueCat, do a demonstration using however that you use, like to create the image that we will likely use for day two. That would be fabulous. And I don't know if anybody else wants to raise their hand and say that there's a tool that you would like to explore. I'm going to raise my hand on Venice. As I mentioned, we are likely going to be paying for Venice between now and later today for several different reasons, but the other is Otter.ai and Canva.ai. So I don't know if anybody that's on here now has expertise or experience with Otter or Canva. I played around a little bit with Canva, but not their AI, and I don't know if we've actually opened up our wallet for Canva. Much more of an open source fan, and out of all of these, I don't know anything about Otter, but what I know about Canva and Photoshop is I would say Venice is unquestionably way more open source than any of the other things. And again, don't know anything about Otter, but anybody want to volunteer for Otter or Canva to kind of do a brief couple-minute demo?
Yeah, I'd like to specifically check out Canva. They have you try it free for a little while before you start paying for it. Its paid tier actually seems pretty reasonable. And you get like a month free. So I think I'm going to check out some other stuff first so that I got a good, it's not so much of a learning curve when I hop into Canva, and then, um, yeah, use up some other free trial periods on some other products. But the Canva looks pretty good. Seems like it has a pretty good suite for the type of production that we want to experiment with. Um,
100%. And and apologies for interrupting here, Ernest, but just to amplify the synergy with Canva and like thinking about on-chain ambassadors, Canva has integration with Office Depot. Like if you design something in Canva, you can walk into one of the hundreds or thousands of Office Depot locations and get your work printed very easily. So I think that this is the biggest
huh.
value proposition for solopreneurs slash small medium sized businesses.
Yeah, the other thing I'm uh, doing is so I've actually accumulated some XBT tokens. I think that's what you need to create the virtuals uh, agents using the virtuals platform.
Is it virtuals or
Um,
with the AI 16Z?
yeah, yeah. Well, that's one of the virtuals on there, or is that the token they use? Well,
I,
anyways,
I haven't I haven't gone I haven't unpacked any of that. Like right now, biggest thing I'm
essentially, I
wanting to
wanted
unpack.
the
Yeah.
AI 16Z and the XB AI XBT. Um, it seems I'm going to start out with Eliza because I'm going to have to download some tools and have to have my own library to like reference a model from and stuff like that. And then once I actually have a model and the box and the apps to store and then basically use the developer program, whatever it is. It's not Visual Studio, so I'm familiar with Visual Studio for way back in the day, coding ASP.NET and SQL and stuff. And so whatever interface app that you use to store and use your models, and then also create a virtuals, which will be an agent that's tokenized as a DAO. And I thought it might, obviously I don't need it to make a bunch of money, but I'm thinking just the interviewer. It's like, can I create an agent that creates good interview questions that I can plug into and wrap with a character, which is the other thing about Eliza is that you can actually bring in that character. So um, that's, I think, gonna be a month or two of work, and then, but I think that's the overall kind of scope of research that I want to figure out first.
A month or two. I think that we can move faster than that here, Ernest. But I put on the agenda here for today some ideas, and I would echo that doing an Eliza OS deep dive through a tools working group. So I'm going to create a lettuce meet for that, in addition to the other lettuce meets for the remaining office hours here for this week. But yeah, let's figure out, because I need to get some agents to do some execution from a marketing standpoint, and the social media is just one aspect of that. And just to put it out here real quick, right now the plan with 3Win Social is it's got a WordPress backend. And this is, I think, another huge opportunity for an AI agent. I think that there's 30 to 40 million WordPress websites on the internet. And you think about this transition, this Web 2 to Web 3 transition, having a WordPress AI agent that can assist all of these websites in a transition or an evolution. But one of the other things, too, as these agents are still being developed. Fluent CRM is the back end that we're planning to use for doing for our on-chain ambassadors and getting integration with Fluent CRM, like with the CRM bot or whatever it ends up being called within not only for our ecosystem, but just thinking about solving problems. Because one thing that I will absolutely guarantee, the millions of people that use WordPress, not everybody loves using WordPress, and the opportunity to potentially be like an AI consultant or a WordPress transition to some order AI agent framework is a very real opportunity. And just wanting to leave that for everybody to unpack. But Fluent has a whole suite of products. And that's one of the things that we're going to be building our back end with 3Win Social using, just to open up the kitchen where the sausage is getting made.
Happy to learn about that with you too. So you get any
Yes. Well,
events and
those
stuff or
conversations are going to happen here throughout this process, Ernest, because that's the lens that I'm looking through.
like
All right. Well, I'm going to stop the screen share here. Going to end on our office hours number 3, day 3. Looking forward to the AI art generator and really looking forward to continuing to unpack this 180-day sprint. Well, marathon. Every day is a sprint, but it ends up to be a marathon. Stop and share. If anybody wants to say some final words while we're bringing it up, love hanging out. That's one of the reasons that I love this format and looking forward to amplifying this format through the use of our AI agent armies that we're going to be building for ourselves.
I had an image for another POAP NFT to that images folder or document. You want to check it out real quick while folks are dropping their last comments?
So I'm thinking that that may be a good one for day 3, and we can unpack that tonight. We'll bring that up. I'm really liking when we were talking about the community and other stuff. This was really gelling and vibing with me. But we'll make a decision on that, not only for the day 2. Going to use this one that I created here for day 1. This is likely going to be the event template for our office hours. I don't know if it'll change if we more shift to a working groups format, or which we probably will, because like the
Can
we'll
you
still
share
have
those real
office.
quick?
What's that,
Can you share?
Ernest?
You switch the screen share. Can you just share those
Oh,
last two images real quick while you're saying that?
yeah, absolutely. Let me fire up the screen share again. Thank you for recognizing that I was talking to a screen that you all weren't seeing. So yeah, this is the NFT and that we'll use for day 1, and then we'll make a decision tonight for day 2 and day 3, and then get some workflow so that this can be, and this is something too. If we could potentially use some sort of joke race or governance process, I don't want a governance process to plague or delay deliverables. I would really like to get these day blog posts done like the next day so that we can just have fluidity. Because don't want to back up the timeline. Because besides just these daily blog posts, the opportunity to create more thoughtful pieces of content for people that love creating content, want to just put that out there. We're absolutely going to be architecting economic incentives through this NFT process, where you as a content creator can get rewarded for people that mint the NFT. And that's one of the things that we'll be unpacking probably during tomorrow's office hours, as far as getting some of that finalized, especially for these initial day blog posts. So that's something that we'll discuss for the next office hours, is splits.org, around these initial blog posts so that we can again get some cadence and get the economic incentives dialed in so that we have some rewards for doing all this cool shit that we're doing besides just learning while that we're going. And that goes again back to, and I'm going to end on that and then wind down the screen share. Our Felg culture over here: fun, earning, learning, and giving, and was just talking about the earning component of that. So anyway, any other final thoughts before we bring this to a wrap? Given some animated rocket ship emojis to symbol our launching here over this next 180 days, and when our official launch will be. Right now, positioning this is season 0, and when we decide when our launch will be is when we'll flip that switch from season 0 to season 1, and we've got ETH Denver right around the corner. So maybe it's around then. We've got a 3-win day on 3/3. That's going to be the international day for doing our 3-win social board, checking some of the compliance standpoint. But 3/3, March the 3rd. So maybe we will launch AIagents.box then. Maybe it'll be sooner. Just depends on what happens. That's 2 months away. A lot can happen in 2 months, but we're going to be back here for our upcoming very first tools working group where we're unpacking art AI generators. Looking forward to that. But thanks, everybody. Absolutely love our conversations, love building in public, love hanging out and learning cool stuff.